central banks, and Chinese trade data. Hello and welcome to our weekly outlook. After a crazy week at the beginning of September, next week will be the banking week. RBA, BOC, and ECB will have the monetary policy meeting and interest rate decisions. Even though it's unlikely to see any changes in their policies, still will be important to follow their meetings. On the other hand, we will have the GDP, PPI, and CPI from EU, US, and China. Let's review the week ahead and the most important events of the week. Number 1, Chinese trade data. After holiday in North American markets on Monday, Tuesday will be an important day. On the Chinese data front, we should not be surprised if they show us less export and import numbers. According to the economic data, Chinese domestic demand in the past months had decreased, and with falling the US consumer confidence as the biggest Chinese foreign market, export numbers should face some difficulties as well. We are expecting to see another slowdown in the Chinese economic data. In the past week, the Chinese yuan was gaining against US dollar, but in the week ahead, weaker than expected Chinese economic data cannot be that much supportive for yuan. Number 2, interest rate decision and monetary policy meeting in Australia. Same as other leading economies, Australian economic data also were not that hopeful and confirmed the slowdown in economic activities as we saw in GDP numbers. On the other hand, the new wave of COVID-19 with its latest variants all around the globe improving the market risk and weakness in economic data putting holding policy fans in the stronger position. Australian stock market also should be supported with holding the current policies. Number 3, interest rate decisions and monetary policy meeting in Canada. In the past 2 meetings, the Bank of Canada reduced the QE plan to $2 billion from previous $4 billion Canadian dollars per week. Increasing the oil price in the past months helped the Canadian economy to grow better. Recently, the central bank revised up the 2022 economic growth outlook to 4.5%. Even though if there are signs of virus spreading, still we are expecting to see another decrease in the quantitative easing amount to $1 billion Canadian dollars per week. Canadian dollar with this hawkish policy is expected to increase more. Number 4, ECB meeting. After the latest meeting that focus was on European Central Bank's change on its inflation mandate, this week's discussion will move on to the future of the Pandemic Emergency Purchasing Plan called PEP. According to the latest data, inflation in Eurozone increased above 3% while the labor market also doing well. This data telling us that the hawkish policy idea will have more supports. On the other hand, with slower recovery in the European economy, election in Germany also pausing any changes at the moment, at least until the next month and next meeting. If we do not see any changes, European stocks that pricing on extending the support will be less bullish, while Euro can get back to its previous downtrend against US dollar. And finally, number 5, US producer inflation. With financial data that's showing economic growth is getting slower, while NFP also was surprising on last Friday, we do not expect that the producer inflation can make any changes in the investors' outlook. For now, as long as raw material costs are higher because of damaging in the supply chain, we do not expect a decrease in inflation numbers. For August, PPI is expected to raise by 8.3%, with core prices raising 6.6% up from 6.2%. This is supposed to hold the bears in the US dollar chart for a bit longer time. Thanks for being with us and hope this week will be an amazing week for you.